This is The Bad Hire, the show where epic hiring failures and remarkable wins fuel better hiring. I'm your host, Ken Monroe, and each week we dive into real-life stories with HR pros, recruiters, and leaders who've seen it all. Because let's face it, everyone remembers the bad hire.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Bad Hire Podcast. We're happy to have you back for another episode. And I'm here with Emma and Lindsey. You met Lindsey last time. Emma's been on the show a couple times. So we're excited to be here. And I think we've got some cool stories today. I know that I've got one that I've been waiting to share for weeks that I'm looking forward to reading to you. I think it's really cool. But before we begin, just want to remind everyone about our $10,000 contest. Submit your stories at thebadhire.com. If you've got a great bad hire story, submit it to us and let us take a look at it. Let our producers take a look at it. If we like it, we'll read it on the show, which we'd love to see the amount of stories that we're reading grow from submissions from you. And so if it's the best story of the season, you'll be selected to win $10,000. So with that, let me get going with this story. I've got two or three. I think what I want to do is, have you got stories for this one? Y'all have stories for this one? Okay. So I think I want to end with, that one story you guys know about. So okay. I'll read a couple and then we'll come back to that, end on that one. Is that cool?
Yeah. Works.
All right. So I had an employee who'd show up every day in a cardigan and scarf.
Cute.
Sweating like crazy.
Oh, not cute.
With a fan blasting on him. He loved bragging about all the supplements and metabolism boosting drugs he was taking. Then the real chaos started. He got caught driving with no license, no insurance, and in someone else's car. The court banned him from driving for 1 year. So he just went out, bought another car, and kept driving anyway. Not long after, he vanished for 3 days because he'd apparently gone into a coma from all the stuff he was taking. Eventually, we had to fire him for his attitude, not for missing work, because we fired him for his attitude. Constant sick days, and get this, asking me to lie to the court so he could get his license back. Now he's trying to sue for unfair dismissal. Some people just don't quit. This person sounded like complete chaos.
Yeah, they don't like cardigans or scarves either.
Right.
It's like, what did that have to do with anything?
It's like the same exact thing. It's like, this person wore cardigan scarves every day. It was really terrible. It's like, what?
Well, I love how he followed that with sweating like crazy with a fan on him at his desk. Why are you?
What does it matter? Oh my gosh.
Really trying to make a statement.
Yeah. All right. So, sometimes when you hire people, they just can't get it. You know what I mean? You ever had that where maybe not, but
oh, yeah.
I know, yeah. But you'll see it sooner or later. Someone will come through, and hopefully not at B-checks, but where you really think they might be able to do it, and then they get there, and for some reason they can't get the job. They can't do the work. So back when I worked at a sandwich shop, not me, but somebody submitted this. I trained this sweet girl who just didn't quite get it. We explained 100 times, never mix bleach and ammonia. Clean different parts of the bathroom at different times. Simple one. One night, she decides to save time by mixing them together. Next thing I know, she burst into the kitchen, eyes red, nose bleeding, coughing uncontrollably. We had to call an ambulance for her, shut the place down early, and air it out overnight. I've never worked in a sandwich shop, so I don't know the cleaning, but maybe people who do understand this is something you don't do. Mix this stuff. You'd think that would teach her a lesson. Nope. She did it again 2 months later. This was the same girl who once got sanitizer in her eye, but refused to rinse it out because it would ruin her makeup. And
She just rolled her eyes.
yeah,
Mascara day. Good mascara is a lot.
Right.
I mean, just saying.
I could see that. You're like trying to blink it out with, and she constantly had to be reminded to wear. Now, this is the one that got me. Of all of that, she constantly had to be reminded to wear gloves when making the sandwiches.
Yuck.
She eventually was fired. Yeah, that sounds like one of those who just didn't, right? She started out this right. She ever had someone who just doesn't get it?
I wouldn't even think about mixing those two things because just ammonia itself just makes eyes water.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever worked with either one of them.
Oh.
Well, maybe bleach, but I don't think I would think about putting them together. But I think that the whole story, what got me was, can you imagine looking across the counter at someone making your sandwich and they reach their hand, just their bare hand into like whatever is sticking in, right? You're like, you were not a good hire. You were not a good hire. Oh my gosh. All right. So who's next? Lindsey?
Yeah.
All right. So let's hear it, Lindsey. What's up?
All right. So this first story says, back when I was doing interviews, I had a candidate who seemed totally normal, polite, put together, resume in hand. Then in the middle of our conversation, she casually says, technically, I'm not supposed to be in the building. That might cause you to pause. Turns out someone on another floor had a restraining order against her, and she just passed it off like it was no big deal, just like she'd forgotten a parking pass. I would probably swipe that person to her left side of the pile.
Swipe left. But
Yeah,
I think interview blow-up stories must be just listening to recruiters talk and hang out with each other.
Very, very colorful.
Yeah.
Sure.
That's probably where a lot of more so than even the bad hire, it's so many that didn't get in because they just completely demolished their interview in a bad way.
So funny. Technically, I'm not supposed to be here. What?
Yeah.
There's this girl upstairs. I'm not supposed to be within 500 feet.
Long story.
Don't worry, it won't affect my work.
I mean, great employee.
Yeah.
Hard worker.
Hard worker.
Oh, wow. All right.
Team player.
Yeah, for sure. All right. So second story. It says, back when I worked at an electronics retail store, I wasn't technically a manager, but I was respected like one. And there was this guy who'd been there 6 years. Management loved him because he was tough with customers and a great salesman. The problem was, whenever a new hire showed promise, he'd get jealous. He'd actually train them wrong on purpose, just so they'd look bad and he could sweep up their sales. He even tried that with me. The difference was I double-checked everything with other people, so his tricks didn't work. Eventually, I just pretended to listen and then did the job the right way. It got so bad that he started feeding his lies to everyone, new hires, veterans, even managers, just to make himself look better. Finally, during a company-wide meeting, I called him out. He was furious and wanted to fight. A week later, he quit, claiming he had landed a better job, but then the truth came out, and he came crawling back a year later, broke as ever.
Grown man, by the way.
Yeah. There's some complex issues there, some inferiority things. Yeah, that's a lot.
You want that bad to be better than everyone.
I think there are people who sabotage other people.
Crazy to me.
Yeah. Get intimidated by, talent coming in, people with the shiny new experience.
That you're training them incorrectly and thinking that
sabotage.
Thinking that your supervisor is going to find out about it. It's just weird to me.
Yeah. I don't know. I think there are people who are just really bad for culture, and they sabotage people because it's always just about keeping, instead of continuing to try to be better than themselves, about trying to keep other people from being good. And as a manager, you got to be able to find those people and get them out of your organization, because that's real. They do that.
One of the true bad apples spoil the whole bunch scenarios for sure.
For sure.
Yeah.
All right. So last one says, back in the 90s, probably not even born then, I worked IT through a temp agency at this old business center. I replaced a guy, we'll call him Joe. who everyone swore was great.
I love when they do that. We'll call them
Joe.
Joe.
Sure.
Denise.
Yeah.
Fob.
But right away, I noticed that things didn't add up. One office said Joe told them a computer was dead and needed to be replaced. I fixed it in 5 minutes with a free antivirus. Turns out Joe had been taking broken machines home for himself. He'd spend entire days fixing computers that didn't need fixing. And when I checked one that he'd wanted to take, I discovered why and what he'd been filling it with. Let's just say very inappropriate downloads. Nice. That was the beginning of his downfall. Later, Joe came back to harass me for his old job. When I reported...
Wait, I gotta stop. That's the beginning of his downfall. Like, oh yeah, we found all this stuff on his computers, but that wasn't, we didn't get rid of him for that stuff.
So when she reported him, police got involved and found out he was wanted on other charges. I dug into his old computers, found records of his shady dealings, and handed them over. The feds showed up the next day, took the machine, and Joe went to prison for 5 years.
Wow.
Not to sound like stereotypical or anything, but like, why does it always start with one day in the IT department?
Yeah, I know, right? So let's stop the profiling right now. This is they could go a whole nother direction with that.
We've had a bunch of stories that start like that.
I think for some reason, the nestling cat story still, when I heard that story, I imagined him being an IT person.
We always come back to this.
Lindsey's our favorite story so far.
If it came out that he was, I wouldn't bat an eyelash.
Right. No, and I'd be like, oh.
Crazy cat
Some
story.
IT people are crazy. They are cray. All right.
Poor Joe. All right, Emma, what you got?
Are you up?
Today?
All right.
What did you discover this week?
Me?
I would love to see, and I think some of our advertising on LinkedIn and stuff like that is going to start going out this week. That we're encouraging people to submit and telling people about the show and asking them to submit stories. So I'm really hopeful we'll start to see more submissions of well-written stories. It'd be fun. That's going to be exciting when that starts to ramp up.
Yeah, I can't wait to read the thing that people send in because I get to read them before me.
Yeah, is it right? You get to read all of them.
Yeah. The selector.
Yeah.
All right.
My first story today is about 6 years ago, I was managing a McDonald's in a small Ohio town. One high school kid constantly complained about working Fridays, but that's all I had, so he took the shift. Halfway through the night, he looked off like he'd been smoking or something. Then during the dinner rush, I catch him flinging a whole tray of burgers at the ceiling. I send him outside to sweep just to get him out of the way. Minutes later, the drive-thru girl freaks out. I lean out the window, and there he is, stuck in a 6-foot drain. He dropped his keys, climbed in, and couldn't get out. Turns out, on his break, he chugged 8 beers at a party and came back. We had to haul him out of the drain hole, and I fired him on the spot. Honestly, he was lucky to walk away alive.
Yeah. I'm wondering when he threw burgers to the ceiling why the firing didn't happen. It's like, hey, bro. Yeah, go sweep, would you? Clearly handling burgers isn't for you in our burger shop.
It's to me, they're really bad.
Yeah, really. It's Friday night. No one wants to work on Friday night.
I want to get ready for the midnight rush of people that are here in farms.
That's exactly what they're doing. Sees no belt.
Okay, here's another one. Oh, here we go. Back when I was the IT guy at a small insurance company, I got pulled into one of the strangest firings I've ever seen. An employee, we'll call him Raymond, was supposed to fly across the country for a big client conference. Tickets booked, hotel reserved, meetings lined up. But when the event started, clients called asking where he was. He never checked into the hotel, never answered calls or emails, and vanished for a full week. Finally, after the conference ended, HR reached him. His excuse? He said, and I quote, "I couldn't go, I was kidnapped." Kidnapped. He said some guys grabbed him outside of a grocery store, held him for a few days, and then just let him go.
Oh.
When HR asked for a police report, he admitted he never filed one because they didn't really do anything to him. The kicker, his phone records showed he'd been making calls all week while he was supposedly missing. We fired him, of course. He threatened to sue, claiming it was illegal to fire someone for being kidnapped. Never heard from him again.
Don't they all threaten to sue?
Poor Raymond.
Yeah, poor Raymond.
Sorry I wasn't here yesterday. I was kidnapped.
No, there's, the stories. The absentee stories are, it's weird. It's always the same person over and over and over again. And they always have, the stories just get kind of crazier and crazier. Bet that wasn't his first absentee story. It's just he ran out of grandparents. He ran out of uncles and aunts that all passed away. So now
all healthy.
Yes. Yeah. So you had to do that. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Here's my last one for today. I hired an apprentice, we'll call him Billy, who loved to go out drinking on payday. One Friday morning, he didn't show up. After hours of searching, he finally wandered in, reeking of alcohol. Claimed he had a flat tire, then got it repaired. But when asked for the receipt, he broke down and admitted he just overslept. He got a warning for lying.
Wait, is it normal to ask for the receipt on something like that? I was like, what? You asked for a receipt on a flat tire? Not a good culture, I think.
Yeah. Fast forward to the very next payday, same thing, doesn't show. This time he calls in, claiming he's at the hospital getting a wart frozen with liquid nitrogen. The only problem was that the treatment was only available on Tuesdays and it was a Friday. So, not a good lie there.
They looked into
He didn't research that.
Well, what gets me is they looked into it. Hey, when do you get these treatments?
Come on.
It was so-and-so.
When pressed, he gave the name of the nurse, who happened to be the girlfriend of one of his old coworkers standing right next to the phone. That coworker confirmed she was home asleep. So Billy tried to cover it up by pretending to be her on the phone. At that point, the instructor had enough and sent it straight up the chain. I left the company soon after, but let's just say Billy didn't live for real.
No, my God. This is Billy, the IT guy.
It didn't
So he's an apprentice.
Oh, an apprentice.
No IT guy.
All right. Well, thank you for
You're welcome.
no gory
Yeah, you're welcome.
stories this time.
You would enjoy it.
Yeah, no, it's
I'll give you a break.
Yeah, you did. You did. All right. This is a story I'll tell you guys. That it didn't get submitted, but I put it together. This is a story that is a true story that is really been I think inspired a lot of why in me when I became aware of the story. And at the end here, I'll explain that this person has become very well known in our industry because of this person's sister. So, picture a woman named Kathy Sue Weaver living her dream in sunny Orlando. It's 2001 and Sue's 52 years old, a creative force with a smile that could light up a room. Born in Missouri in 1949, she carved her own path, snagging a degree in interior design, an MBA, and a long-time career in banking. But her heart beat for art. So she left the suits behind, moved to Florida in 1994, and built embroidery concepts from the ground up. Her hands wove magic, state seals for Capitol buildings, delicate wildlife patterns stitched on to belts. Her home was her haven, filled with the scent of blooming jasmine from her garden and the hum of her sewing machines. Sue was quiet, she was fierce, and she was living life on her terms until one bad hire stole all of it. She called for a simple air duct cleaning, trusting the company to send someone safe. Instead, they sent a monster right to her door. Early that year, Sue hired Burdines, a well-known Florida store, to clean her home's air ducts. It was a nothing job, the kind you barely think about. You trust a big-name company to do it right for you, but they didn't. They sent two technicians, unchecked, unvetted. One was Jeffrey Allen Heffling, 38 years old, a man with darkness in his past. At 23, he pleaded no contest to SAing and caging a woman. in Seminole County. In 1986, while still on probation, he forced his way into another woman's home, hit her with a gun, SA'd her, robbed her, and made her wash away the evidence. He was handed a life sentence, but by 1998, he was out. Living with his parents, working as a repairman, and Burdines, they let him walk right into Sue's world. He didn't strike right away. He waited, lurking in the shadows, planning his move. 6 months later, Sue's sanctuary became his hunting ground. Heflin didn't act during the first visit. He was patient, chilling, calculated, likely using that duct cleaning job to map out Sue's home, her life. 6 months later, on August 27th, 2001, he came back. The air grew heavy that day. Sue was SA'd, beaten, and unalived. In the place that she felt the safest. Then to erase his sins, Heflin set her bedroom on fire. Firefighters rushed in, dousing the flames, only to find Sue's body and the wreckage. It could have passed for a tragic fire, but the truth clawed its way out because DNA left at the scene screamed Heflin's name, tying back to his prior crimes. On October 3rd, 2001, cops grabbed him at a therapy session in Orange County. He played dumb, denying he knew Sue, but the evidence was a noose. In March 2004, he took a plea deal to avoid death row, admitting to first-degree unaliving, SA, arson, and burglary. Now he's caged for life, where the sun never touches him. One simple background check could have kept Sue alive. One person doing their job right could have stopped this nightmare. And so this tragedy cuts deep because it didn't have to happen. If anyone had taken a moment to check Heflin's past, Sue's laughter might still fill her home. That's the weight of what we do. Every recruiter, every HR pro, every talent acquisition warrior who runs those screens, who dig into the details, they're the ones standing between good people and really sometimes evil that walks among us. Sue's story is like a stark reminder that there's real darkness out there, and the work of vetting isn't just paperwork. It's a shield, a lifeline, a way to keep sanctuary sacred, businesses, nonprofits, those things safe. Her sister, Lucia, didn't just grieve, she fought. She built a legacy to make sure no one else loses their Sue to a bad hire. Sue's death left a hole in the world, but her sister refused to let it end. With a fire in her heart, she founded the Sue Weaver cause, committing to always using screened employees. She turned her pain into a movement, pushed the home service industry to wake up and prioritize safety. Her relentless work rippled across the field, inspiring companies to tighten their screening, to honor the lives they touch. Because of her, countless homes are safe. Because of her, countless homes are safer today. So, the Sue Weaver story, this story and stories like it, they hit me right in my soul because, they remind me of why we do what we do every day, why we come to work, as leaders, recruiters, HR pros, talent acquisition folks. Your work isn't just a job. I believe it's also a calling. You change and impact business, culture, talent infuses and grows business, helps dreams come true. But you also are out there at the same time protecting people at this. And so I'm always thankful today that so many companies screen and that there's HR pros and talent acquisition pros out there who take it very seriously. And this story is like a reminder, because I think and sometimes you can get where you're in the grind of hiring and it becomes like a duty, right? And it's a bit of, you want to make it efficient, you want to make it fast, you want it to be good. But you begin to, you need reminders that the work that you're doing is super important. And it's one of the things that, I want all of our employees to know is that the work they do is worthy of their best efforts, because without it, bad stuff happens. And Sue Weaver's story is a great reminder of that. So that's it for me today. But I've always thought, or it's made her story's always made an impression on me. One, her sisters really impacted the screening industry and business across the country, pushing very, very hard for screening. And I always say we're in the prevention business, and so you never know what you prevented because it didn't happen. But I'm betting Sue Weaver's death, because of her sister's efforts, has saved many more lives than her own. So. All right, well, that's it for today. We appreciate it. We'd love to hear your stories. Send them in to us. Go to thebadhire.com, find our submission page, send it on the way. Best story of the season will be selected by our producers, and you have a chance to win $10,000 if yours is chosen. So get on there, take a look, figure out how to submit your story, and get it done. We'd appreciate it. Had a good show today. Loved it. Loved your stories. Thank you for being here. It was super awesome.
Thank you.
We'll talk to you next time.
Bye, guys.
Hey, thanks for tuning in to The Bad Hire. Don't forget to follow, rate, and share the show. If you've got a story of your own, I'd love to hear it. You can email me at ken@thebadhire.com or find me on LinkedIn at Ken Monroe. And I'll see you next time.